That was one of the better ones. I guess one of the early stories I had was up in North Meaderville on Grapple. We were at church, St. Helen's Church. Fire siren went off, and everybody fled the church, and we went home. And the fire truck came. It was on the street above our house, and I won't use the man's name, but we all got up there, and I was just a little kid. My dad was going to look there to help him with the fire. The street above us. And the guy that owned the property was walking around. His barn was gone. He was walking around the circle saying, my piggy, she's gone, my piggy's gone. What the hell he's talking about? My piggy. Well, what had happened, my dad told me later, he said that he was, had a pig hoisted up, and he had the blowtorch, and he was burning the hair off, singeing the hair off the pig, and he unfortunately was making some grapple at the same time, and the bread dough slipped on one of the joints, and the place blew up. Blew him out the front, blew the roof off, but the pig was gone. Blew the pig over the fence and into the ditch next to the horizon. Louis can figure out whose pig it was by that. But anyhow, his piggy was his pig, and I didn't know what he was talking about. We blew him right over the fence and on the other side. And so we had a lot of fun with that. In addition to that, we had the Meaderville Gymnasium that was supplied by the Anaconda Company. It was inside of the Leonard Mine. Beautiful place with a hardwood floor. Had a boxing ring. And it had gymnastic equipment, and of course it was available to all of us for, I don't know, $1 a year or something. I don't even know. We had a membership card, but I don't remember what it cost. You, Jim?
I think we paid $1 a year or something. At the end, we paid nothing.
Yeah, and it was lockers and everything else, and basketball. And for me, it has a real sentimental feeling because I've got a little envelope back that Jim's got, and there's a solid gold medal in there. In 1917, my dad at 117 pounds won the equivalent to Montana State Golden Gloves in that particular gym. And so I've got the medal there that was given to him at that time. So we had that kind of entertainment. Plus we had the skating rink, and fire department and the Anaconda Company and all saw that the rink was flooded and well kept. We also had another little trick at winter time. At the Rocky Mountain, at the second Rocky, used to sit outside on the dump when it was damn cold and wait for Cookie. Cookie was one of Teddy's cooks. And Cookie had a bad habit of taking a roast or a turkey and setting it outside to cool. And the phantom would strike. We had a lot of good turkeys. Took it down to the skating rink, and Cookie, I think, knew what was going on. Cookie was one of the characters at the Rocky that I always hear a story that he came over here to make his fortune and bring his wife and children over later on when he had it made. They never showed up. And there were some other characters there too. Gino Diamante. Gino was a colorful bartender, if any of you were of that age and time. Had a scar on his cheek. Colorful, well-dressed, and well-liked by most of the ladies who came in that place. And Cookie fought all the time, axe and knife type of thing. But Gino, God love him, when he died, he left a scholarship at Montana Tech for Italian boys of Italian descent or parentage. And I don't know how far that scholarship has gone, but the money was put up there in trust through the man who ran KGIR, the First Lady was Ed Craney. Ed Craney was in charge of that trust to raise Italian children. Enterprising young Italian boys. My mother and my aunt being in the nightclub business, we used to go up and help them clean. Swamp. Used to go to Fagan's and buy bubble gum, penny, big pieces, and sit out there and chew the hell out of it. And then we go in and help at the Savoy, and then we go into Grove and carry out bottles. And we used to stop by the telephone and the Rockola jukebox and stuff the gum in the vent corner. And then we'd come back on Sunday and help them again. And all you needed was a piece of wire and stick it up and pull the gum out. And then, of course, we had enough to go to the theater next week. Go up to the Park Theater or the American Theater, go go to Greasy Gus's and get a bag of stuff. So it was pretty much, I was trying to think of some of the other things, but there was enough of it. Oh yeah, there was my aunt and my mom had the Savoy, and it was a neat place. And they had a parking lot next door with the original Rocky Mountain. And it was during World War II. And they had some bandits that would come down, jack up a car on Saturday night, take the tire and wheel off. And the tire and wheel was worth a lot of money during the war, because you couldn't get any real tires and that. And my dad finally figured out who the hell was stealing the tire and wheel. I got put in jail for it. Enterprising. Also, they had scrap metal weapons. And Frank Castiglione and a few of us other guys would go up to where they dumped the scrap metal above North Meaderville. And they used to have a pile of crankcases, crankshafts, heavy. We'd crawl underneath the fence, tie a crankshaft on, drag it out, load it up in Frank's old truck, go down to, it wasn't the Red Record, what was the guy that had the old salvage yard down here below the Silva homes? Gordon? We'd go in there and he'd weigh it. And then he'd pay us for the scrap metal. But then he'd put it back in the same pile and sell it back to the Anaconda Company. They were all shiny, and I was dragging them under the fence. Let's see, what else have I got here about Meaderville? I can just about tell you that it was all on one street. I told you that there were boarding houses down there. My mother worked in every restaurant that was in Meaderville at one time or another, the time she was 12 on up. That included the Savoy and the Rocky. And of course my Aunt Lydia was at the Rocky with Kate. And then she left the Rocky 2 months later. The original Rocky blew up, and the building was demolished. By that time they had moved into Savoy. And she operated the Savoy until she moved out in the flats to where the place is right now. And I guess I'm going to need some help from here on in, guys.
Tell them how much a meal was.
I brought them in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the average meal down there was $1.75. $1 a quarter. Huh?
That was at the Euro.
That was at the Euro. It was $1.25, and the 18-ounce steak was if I remember right when my aunt started, it was $2.25, $2.75.
I should have brought that too.
The food was given away literally because of the gambling, and all the chickens that we received came in big, huge barrels, fresh chickens. Everything was fresh. Meat came in loins and had to be cut and boned every day. I was talking to Dan Stefani's daughter one day, and I said, how many turkeys did Meaderville Merck get in a year? I mean, at Christmas time. And she said they used to get over 150 turkeys at one time from Guy George at Waterloo. Those were fresh. The largest one I ever saw was 45 pounds dressed. I thought it was a dog. Yeah, Guy George's daughter, Gloria, raised it. Huge ones. But all the turkeys were brought in from Guy George's, and Meaderville Merck supplied all the food for my family's restaurant, the steaks and the chicken. And like I said, it came in 50-gallon wooden drums at that time. What else? Come on, James. I'm running out of memory now. This is hurting.
Well, yeah.
Better give me some questions. Quick.
Where was your mother and father from, Jim?
My mother is on the Adriatic side, about 85, 90 kilometers east of Rome. And my dad was way, way up north, Ivrea, and a little town on the Swiss-Italian border, right at the Alps. Totally different. My dad had a saying to my mother when they fought. My dad was a quiet man, as I said, but he carried a big stick. And he used to always tell my mother, if the Pope hadn't stopped Garibaldi, all you black Italians would be dead. About the Mason-Dixon line and all that. Way out over there too, right straight across. They get into that. But my dad was from the north, and my mom was from on the Adriatic side, just north and east of
Did they meet here?
Yes, yes. most of the Italians that came from that area, you can